It's Gerald. Alright, today I'm trading Euro card, right? And this will be a tutorial on chart patterns, right? This is what the formation of this chart pattern is: head and shoulders. Now, if we can check on the daily time frame, you can see that the manipulation by the market makers has already been done. This is a manipulation, right? Before price goes in the direction, so you want to try and avoid this as much as possible. So taking that off, just for you to see and for you to know, and for you to know it's a manipulation. You can see how price rallied above the moving average and coming back to close below it. That's to show you and tell you that it's a manipulation. Okay, so now how do we find entries after the manipulation? Now we'll go down to the lower time frame. What you want to look for, a reversal sign you want to look for, is chart patterns. So we go back down to the lower time frame. Today we won't be using any indicators to look for a reversal. We'll just use pure price action to do this. And patterns are price action forms patterns, right? So now, as you can see, if you look to your left, as the saying goes, that whenever you want to analyze the market, you always look to your left first and check the history. Alright, so as you can check, if you check by the left hand side, you see that there's a resistance right here, but price broke through and went to the next supply area before dropping down back. So this is going to be our left shoulder. This is our left shoulder, right? This is our left shoulder. Okay, so which everyone know that this is the head. This is the head. Alright, catching this move is quite simple. After this head forms, then you are going to know what's going to happen next. Now, where you know that this is a head and shoulders is when price comes back to visit this neckline, right? If it comes back to visit this neckline, then you are going to know that the next rally to the upside is going to be the right shoulder, and that is where professional traders go short. But as I teach beginners, usually is to place sell stops at the neckline. I don't personally encourage that because it can really end up getting messy for you, and the risk could be very much. Where will you place your stop loss? If you place your stop loss here, it doesn't make sense. If you place it here, it doesn't still make sense because here has become a supply area. I really place a stop loss in a supply zone, right? So now what can we do to join on time, which most traders will not teach you, but I'll be teaching that in this video. Okay, so we'll see that here becomes the shoulder. So once now you mark all the way from the wick. This is a nice technique. You mark all the way from the wick down to the close of that wick. That is how you get your sniper entry, right? Now, as you can see, it didn't get inside the zone before I went short like very well, and that was because of the spread. If not, I think this entry would have been at the very tip. So now what we can do is to look for our exit, right? You can decide to exit at the neckline after entering at the right shoulder, because here is what? Here is support. Here is support, right? As you can see, price is struggling right there. Here is support. Sorry for that. Let's go back to the chart. So you can see there is support. So price might rally up a little bit. Price might rally up a little bit, something like this, before continuing. It might rally up like this, something like this, before continuing to the downside. Okay, so what I'm actually expecting is this. What I'm actually expecting for this to happen is this. Is what I'm expecting to happen, right? But I had two entries, right? So I had to close one when we are in profit, always close one entry first. Always close some entries. Do not say you want all your entries to hit take profit. And this was the entry I closed at $2, right? Using small lot size to catch nice number of pips. So at this point, if I have taken that profit, if it reverses and goes back to it SL, I'm okay. Perhaps it will just be my profit I've already gotten that will cut short. Okay, so what are the possibilities of this market? That's what you should ask next. Is it going to go down to this up to this extent, or will something happen in between? It can't just crash down that way. Okay, so now what can happen in this market is you have to look for your supply and your demand zones. So we go for the next area, which is right. This is our next demand zone, because what we have rally base, we have a rally, a base, and a rally against the upside. Now, one thing you want to take note of is the base. Here is the base, which has become our demand area. And if you look to the left, right here, you see that there was resistance that has turned to support. So definitely, if price gets here, there will be a strong regression, since it's demand plus a support area, right? So what is the possibility of this market coming down, right? Okay, so let's say here was my entry, price came down. Now, after a neckline of a head and shoulders or whatever pattern you trade, most times it gets retested. Majority of times it gets retested, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so after it drops, if price respects that area, what is going to happen next is retest of the neckline, right? Retest of the neckline. Now, most times, if the neckline is getting retested, it doesn't necessarily just comes to the neckline, which is this area. It doesn't just come to the neckline. It's going to look for what a supply zone to just tap into before continuing to the downside. So you find out that this right shoulder has turned into a supply zone, because we now have what bearish engulf. We now have bearish engulf, right? We now have bearish engulf. So price might not just stop at this resistance right here. It will just come to the supply first before going in all the way to the downside, right? All the way to the downside. So now we know. Now another way you can close your right shoulder entry and just wait to enter again at the retest of the neckline. That is how basically to trade, okay, the head and shoulders. Now this pattern works very well in the market. It's a very, 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 very nice way to trade, right? So today I said there will be no indicators, but let's just use one or two indicators for confirmation when entering on the right shoulder, right? So let's use also mosquito. Well, let's make use of stochastic, right? Let's make use of stochastic indicator. Alright, here we have stochastic. I'm choosing 1033. Yes, that's the parameters right there. So I'm going to take the stochastic. Now, if you go to the lower time frame, because I made this entry on the lower time frame, you can see how when stochastic crosses over, you see how price rallied to the downside. I actually used this for the entry as well. You see, after it crosses over, price goes to the downside. So we can use this stochastic as another form of confirmation for entry. Now you see right here, price rejected 2 times, showing that it will hold. After price rejects the first time, it comes back, it tries the second time. That's when you should know that yes, this one is over. That's a good way of having some confirmation too. Now we go down to the stochastic, you see that price, it crosses over and boom to the downside. Okay, now what stochastic is telling you that price now might rally up a little bit because it's at what a support and a demand zone, right? And the demand zone, so price might rally up again before continuing the downside. But all the same, this is how to basically trade the head and shoulders, right? So make sure to like, comment and share if you want more content like this. Subscribe to my channel, like, share, comment. Make sure you share this video to your fellow traders that are finding it difficult to even trade patterns out there. I'll be doing more videos on patterns coming up really soon. Alright, so for the last but not least that I forgot, so here is another demand area, right? Here's another demand area. So these are the zones that you must watch out for and you must try to trade. And if you want to just put your stop loss right below the zones, right? As you can see, I have placed my stop loss. Never place a trade without putting a stop loss. As you can see, I placed my stop loss just above the zone I've marked out, so that if price goes against me, always trade with your stop loss set. So thank you guys. Do well to subscribe, do well to like, comment, share and turn on those notifications so that you never miss a video from Jewel. Alright, thank you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.
1 hour later.
Alright guys, price drops 59 pips in profit. 59 pips in profit. Okay, so for those who always want to know if it's a real account, just check it out. Check it out. It's a real account. It's an Xness real account, right? Alright, we're in massive profit. Now make sure that if you're in profit, you set break even to lock in some profit right there in case of price reversal. Alright, thank you guys. See you next time.
I bet you don't